So there's a way to take notes and there's a way not to take notes. And if you're in class and you're taking notes, and I'm talking about notes because there was a question about them, so before I go into all my writing advice, I figure I might as well go into some note-taking advice. The best thing to do if you're taking notes in a class is, first of all, don't try to write incomplete sentences. Unless you're some insane genius who can write really fast or even type really fast if you're typing, it's not going to work. The best thing to do is take notes by using bullet points or check marks or dashes. Just write down the main ideas of what your professor is saying, because that's what you want to get, the main ideas. And don't worry about using highlighters or markers or different color pens when you're writing. Just use one pen, just take down your main points, and make friends with somebody sitting next to you, hopefully, who takes good notes also, because then you guys can compare notes later and see if somebody missed something. It's always good to have a note buddy, always, especially if you're going to be sick one day or they're going to be sick. Just, it's good, have a note buddy. But first off, like I said, bullet points. Don't worry about full sentences, okay? If your professor writes something on the board or it's on a projector or whatever, it's important. Write it down. We don't write that stuff down for our amusement. We write it down because it's important for you to know. So always, if we write stuff down on the board, don't ignore it. It's there because you're supposed to remember it, okay? It's important enough for us to take the time to write it down. Always write down what's on the board. And then when you're done, after you've taken notes, what you can do is you can go back. Now, not everybody does this because, you know, this would mean you're a really dedicated student, and I know not everybody wants to be a dedicated student. But you can go back, and what happens is a lot of times your professor is taking their lecture from the reading, okay? They probably are using some other supplementary material. Knowledge that they've gained over the years, stuff that they've read other places, but a lot of it will probably come directly from your reading. So go back through, read the chapter, and then you can flesh out the points that you might not have gotten, and you can elaborate. Then if you want to use one highlighter, don't go nuts, don't use a million highlighters, just one highlighter. And, you know, highlight something if you feel it's important. If you feel like you missed something or, you know, you're not sure about some of the notes you took, go ask your professor. Now, don't ask for their lecture notes. That's really, really not okay to do. I've had students go, can I just have your notes? Going, no, you can't have my notes. You know, no, that's not how it works. I'm happy to sit down and talk with you and see where you think you missed notes, and, you know, we can go over it and I'll elaborate. And they're usually happy to do that, especially at their office hours. They might not have time after class. Certainly don't bother them before class. We're a little bit harassed before class. So it's best to talk to your professor after class, okay? Just a warning. Don't come up before class and start with things, because we're never in the mood, okay? After class is good, office hours are good. And we're happy to go over some stuff if you're not quite sure about what we said, or we talked too fast and you missed something and you know you missed it. So we're more than happy to go over that with you. Just don't ask, like I said, for a copy of our lecture notes. That just isn't going to fly. So I hope that helps a little bit. Definitely remember, never full sentences. It's not worth it. And abbreviate as much as you want. As long as you know what your abbreviations are, the more you abbreviate and the shorter you write your notes, believe it or not, the more you'll get down and you will retain this stuff. I hope that helps.